All right, today's meeting. So we're going to combine the batter and runner rules. And what I did, I combined. I'm going to do my best as possible to get through these 9 rules in this hour and 20 minutes roughly. So illegally batted ball, batter interferences, runner lane interference, offensive interference, type 1 obstruction, type 2 obstruction, base awards, passing, tagging up, and then the appealing if they left early. All right, so that's what we're going to go over. Question? Okay. So this is all OBR. Good question. I know somebody asked, are we going to have a federation test meeting? We are going to have a federation test meeting. All right, but all the rules covered here today is OBR, original baseball rules, which will have American Legion baseball, USSSA baseball, Triple Crown baseball. So illegally batted ball, a batter must start with both feet completely inside the batter's box. So we have 4 lines. We should have 4 lines to start a game. And then by the bottom of the first inning, those 4 lines are gone. Okay. So now you got to use your judgment of where was that batter's box. So like right now, this is an illegal batter's box that Derek Jeter is in because they don't have that inside line. So I'm not going to say stop the game and make them chalk for a true square or rectangle, but just know that inside line, the whole entire foot has to be inside or on that line. So half the foot cannot be on the backside of the batter's box. All right, so right now, Derek Jeter, his whole foot is on or inside. All right, if he were to have a heel off or half the foot off that line, they're not legal. They have to start 2 feet completely in. And now it's a violation when 1 foot is completely out of the batter's box. So if there is any part of that heel, any part of that toe touching that inside line here, it's legal. If that whole entire foot is clearly outside of the box and that bat touches the pitch ball, time, illegally batted ball, batter is out. All right. I can't stress this enough. You got to make these huge. All right. When in doubt, some part of the foot was on that line. Where it usually happens is that drag bunt. That's where it happens. That lefty steps forward and their foot is completely down out of the box, and then they contact the ball. The ones who are really good and who are coached, they actually bunt it with their foot up in the air. All right. So yeah, it looks like they're clearly out of the box, but when the bat actually contacts the ball, their foot is still up in the air. So you have to be really, really obvious illegally batted ball. Base umpires. All right. This is where people always say, why do you always call time and not foul when that batted ball hits off the batter? And the reason I say I always call time, not foul, because I don't know if they were clearly inside the batter's box. Because if that ball does hit the batter, while that batter is inside the batter's box, what do we got? We got foul. As a base umpire, I don't have that information. So I just call time because I'm telling my home plate umpire, hey, that batted ball hit the batter. All right, now that home plate umpire has to determine, was that batter completely outside the batter's box when the ball hit him? Or, all right, were they inside the batter's box, which now is foul? All right, so base umpires, that's why I'll call time, because I'm giving information that batted ball hit that batter. It is now up to my partner to figure out. 1 foot completely out, out. 1 foot or both feet in still, foul ball. Hit the batter in the box. Okay. Any questions on what batters need to be legal to start? Because you will have some coaches say, hey, they're pitching slow, move up way in the box. Their foot has to be on that line. And then when they stride forward and make contact with that ball, that foot has to be touching that line. That's where it comes up in the baseball we do. All right. Now, I put on the previous slide batter interferences. There's a lot of different batter interferences. So first one, after third strike that is not caught, the batter runner clearly hinders the catcher in their attempt to field the ball. So here we got a curveball slider in the dirt. Catcher goes down and blocks it. Ball bounces off the catcher, goes into the batter. All right, with the ball deflecting into the batter, who caused that ball to go into the batter? The catcher slash pitcher. All right, so did the batter clearly interfere? All right, so as an umpire, we're going to say, we got nothing. All right, yeah, I saw the ball hit the batter, but the batter didn't clearly do something to that ball. So we got nothing. I will be saying something different next Sunday. Okay, but in original baseball rules, if the batter does not clearly do something to put a new force onto that ball, nothing. Another one is the catcher and batter tangle untangle. All right, so we use that area around home plate. The batter's trying to get to first base. The catcher's trying to get to the baseball, and they contact each other. If both are doing what they're supposed to be doing and there's contact, there's nothing. Now, if one shoves the other, all right, so now that's something, which we'll get into interference and obstruction here. All right, but if the batter intentionally pushes the catcher, if the batter intentionally kicks the ball, now you got batter interference after a drop third strike. Out and ball's dead, everybody go back. And nobody could advance. Before there are two outs, batter hinders a defensive player from making a play at home. All right, it says defensive player. Most of the time, it's the catcher. All right, so first we'll do the obvious. All right, in this video will be the obvious. And I apologize if there's going to be an ad. I should have knew this video was going to pop up. 5, 4, 3. All right, so these are the all right, so we got the backswing, boom, interference. All right. All right, so now the batter has left the batter's box and has now, in the umpire's judgment, interfered with that catcher's throw. Contact is not needed. Okay, contact's not needed. So this, yes.
So on that play, if that was the third strike, it was now the runner out in the second.
All right, so we got here. We got 2-2 count, 1 out. Great question. 2-2 count, 1 out. We have a swing and a miss. So what's the batter? Out. All right, so now whenever we have interference, guess what else we need to get? We need to get an out. So now let's say it was a 1-1 count. Now who would be out? The batter would only be out. All right, and the runner would be sent back. In this case, the runner's out because the batter struck out. So now interference, now we got to get the runner. So coach would be like, hey, why'd you get 2 outs for the interference? We didn't. We got 1 out for the strikeout and 1 out for the interference. It's a great question. Correct. Yeah. If they affect the player making a play, you got interference. Now, if they backswing interference and the catcher's not making a play, now it's just time. But they can't swing and contact that catcher making a play. Correct. Yep. All right. All right, so this is stepping across the plate. I will tell you this as umpires, coaches listening to this, we love outs. Okay. This is actually a safety play. I put this in the category of safety play. So when in doubt, I'm going to call this batter out because of safety. Because if batters are allowed to step across a plate, and they don't change that behavior, eventually, as they get older, those catchers get a little bit faster, stronger, you're going to have a broken hand. So we have to address the batters, especially at the young level, on a swing, which we'll get into the next situation later. On a swing, they must remain in the box to be protected. So if they swing, they could be moving in the box, but you have to protect that catcher. All right. No contact is needed for interference. I don't know about anybody but you, but if I have a baseball and you run right in front of me as I'm about to throw the baseball, that's going to mess with me. All right. So this is interference. All right. And because it wasn't a strikeout, because that made it strike two, it was 3-2. All right. So now the batter's out and the runner will be out. All right. So that's another situation. They're going to get 2 outs. Strikeout for the batter and then the runner. All right. So this is the batter interference because the batted ball hit the batter when he was outside of the batter's box. All right, this is going to be our transition. We're going to forget about that because we're going to come back to that one. And we are going to come back to that one here in a second. All right, batter hinders, been put out hinders and impedes the following player on another runner. So weird situation, but boom, fly ball, clear, catch. And the batter runner is going towards second base. All right. Right fielder catches it. Batter runner is going to second base. There's multiple runners. And the fielder makes a play on the batter runner at second base. Because they made the play on the batter runner, runner at third base now advances and scores. That's interference. Because when the batter runner, when they caught that ball, what is the batter runner? Out. So if they continue running to make it look like that the defense could still get them out on a tag play and other runners advance because of it, that's interference. Out. So that's it's how they're running. If they're running as they are a runner, if they're just running like my third base dugout, I'm just going to round first base and run back to third base dugout. It's not just run, it's how they're running. So yep, that's again, umpires got to catch. I mean, we don't have to signal easy can of corn catch. Got to catch and let the players know what happened.
Out in front of the plate, catcher's going to get it, batter's running, unintentionally kicks the ball. Is that interference?
Yep. So, because it's a batted ball in fair territory, once that batter leaves the batter's box, intentional or unintentional, we're going to have interference. Yep, same thing. If it's out away from the main area, that batter has enough time to avoid contacting the ball. They have to avoid contacting the ball. Good questions there. All right. Next batter, runner interference. Again, this is safety call. Yes, we love outs, but when in doubt, call them out because this is safety call. Has anyone seen collisions at first base? Okay. If you have a double base, they don't have to use it, but remind the coaches, please use it and it's for both offense and defense. It's not just for one. Okay. It's defense, pick a base so the runner could go to the other base. All right. But a lot of baseball fields, we only have one base. So running outside the runner's lane and an umpire's judgment interferes with the fielder taking the throw at first base. So it could be a first baseman, it could be a pitcher covering, it could be the second baseman covering. So it doesn't have to be first baseman, just a fielder taking the throw. All right. So what is the runner's lane? The last half distance. So if it's 60 feet bases, 30 feet, 70 feet bases, 35 feet, 90-foot bases, 45 feet. All right. Yes, most fields are not marked with the runner's lane. So we have to use common sense fair play. All right. Runner is in the lane while both feet are in or on the lines of the runner's lane. Okay, so umpires, don't tell a coach the runner was running in fair territory. They can legally run in fair territory Because if they're running on the fair foul line, that's fair territory. Okay, coach, your runner had their left foot completely inside the fair foul line. Once they're running outside the runner's lane, I literally tell myself mentally, and I say out loud, illegal. I am mentally telling myself, illegal, because I don't want it to blow up and then surprise me when there's that collision at first base. Because now once they're illegal, the only way they could get back legal is they have to take 2 strides completely back inside that runner's lane, which is very difficult going full speed, going to first base. All right, so typically once they're illegal, that half last distance, they've remained illegal the whole time. Okay, now once they're illegal, there has to be a quality throw. So if that throw is 20 feet over the first baseman or second baseman's head, got nothing. That throw is what disallowed that fielder. But anything close, anything that fielder could get the glove on, all right, I'm going to consider that a quality throw. When in doubt, I will get the out. And where it comes up most of the time is that bunt or slow roller third base, or that pitcher getting that ball coming towards first base line. All right, you're going to see runners run illegal so many times in a game, ground ball to second base, ground ball to shortstop, and that first baseman, though, they're stretching away from that runner, so it's never interference. It's that throw from the inside part of the diamond. And when you see that illegal runner, let them know. Let the coach know. Hey, coach, could you remind your runner, run in the runner's lane? The first baseman could possibly get hurt. Okay, so now we're going to get back to that video. Runner's lane interference. They have a good replay of it. I'm going to back it up. All right, so now remember, runners are in first and second right now. All right, runners are in first and second. Everyone see both feet clearly inside the fair foul line. All right. The only time they're given the last stride, which coaches will say, no, the last stride, they get the base. They have to be legal the whole entire time to get that last stride. Okay. So there is no last stride rule here in place. All right. So now we have runner's lane interference because he obviously affected the first baseman from catching that ball. That was a catchable ball had that runner been legal. Time. Runner's lane interference. Batter runner is out. Where are we sending the rest of the runners? Time of pitch. Okay, so who makes the call? Primary is home plate umpire. Home plate umpire, you should be straddling that fair foul line so you know if that left foot is inside the fair foul line or not. Base umpire, if you're really that good and it's that egregious, the base umpire can call it. I have called it before as a base umpire, but again, it's because I say illegal once they're illegal. Right? Because on a bunt, everything's in front of me as a base umpire. If it's a ground ball to shortstop, ground ball to third baseman, I'm not looking at that runner. But if it's a bunt in front of me, I got everything in front of me.
Probably your case, and I've seen, I could be wrong, the batters are running down first baseline, most of them, they're on the inside.
Yeah. They are mostly on the inside. That's why we got to let the coaches know. That's why we got to prevent it. All right. There we go. Jesus. All right. Offensive interference. Yes. Yeah, so if the runner is legal and the thrown ball hits the runner, ball's live and in play. Yep, so once he touches first base, boom, got nothing, safe. Yep, good call, good question. All right, so offensive interference here. There we go. All right, member of the offensive team hinders or impedes a defensive player of making a play. So here's the pictures, are two easy ones. So we have a fly ball, catcher's trying to get their balance, their coordination, and the batter just stands there. Sorry, batter, that's interference. What am I supposed to do? Disappear. All right, disappear. Then you have the ground ball situation here, where that fielder's coming up to field the ground ball. The runner is doing what they're supposed to do, run to the next base. If that runner contacts the ball, if that runner contacts the fielder, if that runner forces the fielder to stop or go around them, or if that runner stops their vision of that batted ball, that's interference. And the coach will be like, what does my runner have to do? Disappear. That runner could run to the outfield. That runner could go as far out of the baseline as they possibly can to avoid interference, because you're not out of the baseline until the defense attempts to tag you. All right, so you got to disappear. Sometimes we see this, and I don't think we see it at the youth level because they're unsporting. They just don't know. All right, so first baseman's going to the dugout, and somebody in the dugout says, I got it. And then the first baseman lets it drop. That's interference. All right, at the higher level, they do that on purpose. They know. All right, so if you hear it and there's confusion, interference, even if a foul ball. All right, that's out. Let's see here. Batted ball hits runner before passing the fielder that can field the batted ball. All right, so if the first baseman is in, third baseman is in, and that ball goes by the first baseman, goes by the third baseman, second baseman, shortstop cannot get that field batted ball. It hits the runner, that's live and in play. All right, a fielder still has to be able to field the ball. Okay, and that does not include the pitcher. All right, does not include the pitcher. And then the batted ball hits the batter in fair territory, batter's out of the box. So that was that one play there. Even if it's unintentional, they're out of the box. There's enough distance now. They have to avoid being touched by that fair ball. As a thrown bat. So if the ball is in fair territory and a released bat, we'll even say released bat, is moving, and that moving bat hits the ball, whether that ball is stationary or that ball is moving, we have out. All right, a moving bat hitting a ball in fair territory is out. Okay, that's interference. Batter is out. Stationary bat, ball hits bat, nothing. All right, that is nothing, because that force of that bat is over. All right, again, coaches, we love outs, but most important, we love safety. Okay, offensive interference, force play slide rule. This is at second, this is at third, this is at home. Whenever a runner is forced to slide, all right, they must avoid contact so they can give themselves up. They could run out of the play. They could literally duck, they could slide away from the play. If they don't do one of those three things and they want to stay in the play, they have to slide legally, straight to and through. So all of these are illegal slides, every single one of them. This one is obvious, all right, nowhere near sliding to the base, straight to and through. This one, see that left butt cheek? With that left butt cheek up, that's what they call a roll slide. That is illegal slide, all right, when forced to slide. Now, if they're just sliding into second base for a double, that slide's legal. You could do whatever you can to be safe at second base with a roll slide or anything. But when you're forced to slide on a force play, your butt cheeks have to be down on the ground, sliding straight to and through. So that's would be an illegal slide on a force play. And then you have number 5 down here. All right, again, he's sliding on the side of his body. That is an illegal slide. Again, I can't stress this enough. Umpires, the younger the age group, the tighter I call this. We want to teach the players when they're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, how to legally slide. Because I promise you, when they get up to high school and then college and they're still sliding illegally without being enforced a foul, you're going to have a double fracture fibula really quick. All right, I've seen 3 of them so far in my career, all because they don't slide legally. see the left butt cheek is up in the air again? So if a runner gets up on a forced play slide rule and they have marking on the side of their thigh, that's an illegal slide. The marking should be on their butt. And it's like on turf, yeah, you should be able to see that black turf on their butt. They have to have two buttocks on the ground to be a legal slide on a forced play slide rule. All right, I just want to remember if they're going for a triple, they could slide on their side. They could slide where only their hand is touching the base. Slide. And there is a fielder with their foot planted on the base and their knee is very vulnerable. They have to slide straight to and through. They want that leg going straight back. And that roll slide is going to turn that knee the wrong way. No. Oh, no, they can't slide head first. So slide head first, they have to be on the chest now. So slide straight to and through, chest is the buttocks. So as long as they slide on their chest, yes, they can slide head first. Great question. And then, yes, sir. No, so I think federation might be different, but original baseball rules, you could slide to and straight through. And then you could even pop up as long as you don't make a second action of pushing or anything like that. Yes, great question. So what's the penalty? All right, time, forced play slide rule interference, you're out, you out. Now notice how I did not turn when I called the batter runner out. All right, anyone know why I don't turn to call the batter runner out? Yeah, if somebody just takes out somebody's leg, you could have a teammate have some words for the runner. You might have the person who got slid into have some words or actions for the person, and you want to prevent that. Your eyes on players, your proximity, your voice and stop enough will prevent escalation. So don't turn your eyes to that batter runner, they're out, because it's an automatic penalty. Automatic. Yep. So are they forced to slide? So if they're not forced to slide, forget about this rule. Yeah, this is only like at third base, this would be bases loaded or first and second, where they would be forced to slide. If it's any other unforced play, as long as they don't do anything intentionally, they're good. Yes.
This play at home, runner standing up, he's sprinting home, catcher's there to make the catch. Runner doesn't slide. If there's any sort of interference with the catch, are you calling them out because you didn't get down?
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. So 2 questions here. At what age can kids start sliding headfirst into home? In select baseball, 7U. So any USSSA select baseball, they could slide headfirst into any base. Now rec baseball, they have different rules based on every single rec division. So if you're going out working Papillion, Elkhorn, Westgate, you might want to ask the coaches, can they slide head first? Little League Baseball, you cannot slide head first going forward, but you can slide head first going backwards. All right, but select baseball, 7U and up is all head first, all legal. And the last one was what about the height of the leg when sliding? So let's say they have their buttocks on the ground, they're going straight to the base, but now that front leg is anything near that knee, all right, is a interference on that runner. It's not forced play slide rule interference. So that's interference, all right? You're only gonna get that one out, that offensive interference, because that run legally sliding is impeding the fielder making a play. If malicious, ejection. So spikes up into the knee, ejection. They cannot spike their opponent at the knee. It will happen. They will slide into the ankle. That's an unfortunate play in baseball. But anything near the knee, they cannot have that front leg up near the knee area. All right, how do I get rid of this? There it is. All right, type 1 obstruction. All right, so type 1 obstruction is, this picture is not in the right place. This stuff that drives me nuts. All right, so type 1, base runner is being impeded by the defense while playing is being made on that runner. All right, so type 1, play being made on the runner. So it could be a play at first base, rundown. All right, so we have a rundown here. So this fielder already threw it to his teammate. So guess what this fielder has to do? Disappear. So coaches, you tell your fielders, throw it, peel off, get the heck out of the way. Because guess what the offensive coaches are teaching the runners? Run into them. Go contact them. All right, and as long as that a straight line and does not seek out the fielder, you have obstruction. All right, and I tell my 12-year-olds, man, if that fielder is anywhere near your path, go straight into him. Don't tackle him, SJ. Okay, just go straight into him. All right, so defenders, throw, peel off, get out of the way. Offensive players, if they are in your path, a straight line path, that's obstruction. You have this pitcher going to field this batted ball when the first baseman already fielded the batted ball. All right, so you can only protect one fielder for interference. So since this first baseman has this ball, guess what this pitcher has to do? Disappear. And he didn't, obviously. So that's obstruction. So the coach will come out, a defensive coach will come out, Sean, it is clearly that pitcher was going to tag that batter runner. That's not the rule. Because once I have type 1 obstruction, that pitcher impeding that batter runner at first base, time. Ball's dead. Minimum 1 base award. All right, so that batter runner will be given first base. This rundown here, minimum 1 base. Going to second base. I have this picture down here because this always comes up in conversation. In this picture, there is absolutely no baseball whatsoever. Okay. If that ball were to be coming towards home plate and that catcher set up blocking home plate, all right, we have obstruction. Type 1 obstruction because there's a play being made, that ball is thrown. So the question usually comes up, where does the ball have to be for it to be considered a play on that runner? The ball has to be thrown. That's it. So if it's from the right fielder 250 feet away, once that ball is thrown, a play is being made on that runner. All right, catchers have to start legal. Now, let's say the catcher started legal and that throw is moving the catcher around because he's got to go catch that baseball. If that runner's doing everything he's supposed to do, attempting to avoid contact or starting to slide, and they collide with each other, it's nothing. All right, so obstruction catchers cannot start blocking the base. They have to give an unimpeded path to that base. And if they don't, and that ball is thrown to home plate, and that catcher's not moving, that runner runs into him, it's obstruction. Now, let's say we have obstruction, but the runner's like, oh man, this is a free shot. I lower my shoulder and I blow up this catcher. If malicious, the malicious contact interference will supersede the obstruction. Offense will never get a free shot on a catcher. All right, so you call the interference, eject the runner, and you got to tell the coach, yes, you are right. The catcher was blocking the path of home plate. I was going to call obstruction, but then your runner decided to maliciously contact the catcher, and that supersedes obstruction. Okay, so that's why I put that picture up there.
So if the catcher has the ball or the top picture, defender has the ball. Now he can be in the baseline.
Yep, yep. Correct. All right, type 2 obstruction. This is when the defense impedes the progress of the runner when the play is not being made on that runner. So where it happens the most is at first base. All right, that first baseman sees the ball go to the outfield and they do pretty ball, pretty ball, pretty ball. And then here comes the runner, boom, runs into the first baseman. All right, coaches, please tell your runners if they're going to make contact with the first baseman to make it easy on umpires, do like a shoulder clip. I prefer dodging the first baseman, changing your path, because that is still obstruction. If that runner has to change their path around that first baseman, not to collide with the first baseman, that's obstruction. If they have to change their path and they miss first base and you call obstruction, guess what that runner did? He touched first base. All right, because it was the obstruction that avoided them missing the base. So if there was obstruction, had obstruction not occurred, they would have touched first base. The other one that happens, you see a ground ball goes by the third baseman and then goes to the shortstop. And here's this runner. That runner's looking either at the ball or at the coaches. Am I going to be sent or not? If they have to slow down, if they have to go around that third baseman, that's obstruction. Right? The defense, once that ball passes that defender, they have to disappear. And if they don't disappear and that runner contacts them or changes any way how they wanted to run, obstruction. All right, so now the hard part of obstruction, seeing it is easy. How do we enforce the penalty? Had obstruction not occurred, where would that head runner had gotten? Runners have gotten. All right, so now if this runner going home, let's say he stays on his feet, doesn't fall or anything like that, coach all of a sudden sends him and he's out by 50 feet. Would that runner had scored? No. All right, so boom, yes, that was obstruction. I was going to protect you to third base, but you don't get a free base at home. Now, if it's a bang, bang, swipe tag, yep, out. But it was a close play. Now what do we got? That's obstruction. Time. Obstruction, you safe. Home plate umpires, if you could process that before going out and then changing it, that's the best situation. All right, you see, home plate umpires, that is actually your call at third base. You have touches at third base. So you should be yelling, that's obstruction. So now as they're coming home, close play, time, after the play's all over, time, obstruction, you safe. And now people will know, oh, the runner's safe at home because of the obstruction, not because the catcher didn't tag. No, if he's obstructed at third base, that's obstruction. Now it's a close play at home, and he tags him out at home. I'm not going to call him out at home because I've already called obstruction. It was a close play at home, so after that play is all over, I'm going to go time, obstruction, you safe. All right.
You can't. The reward of obstruction is based on the lead runner, right? If the lead runner.
Nope. The base on obstruction is where would the runners have gotten had obstruction not occurred.
So that's just a lot of baseball. Ball out to left field. Runner for first, gets to second base. Doesn't think he'll make it. He or she will make it to third. They're on second base. The runner for first gets knocked over the first baseman interferes. Now, if that guy got second base, I would have forced the run down runner second.
Nope. No, because had the runner not been obstructed, would the runner have gone to second base? No. His teammate's there. He's not going to second base.
I'm just saying, you can't push one up.
Type 2 obstruction. There is no maximum minimum award.
So in that case, should I have put the guy
No. Because had obstruction not occurred, where was that runner on second going to be? Second base. And with my teammate on second base, guess what I'm not doing? I'm not going to second. So had obstruction not occurred, runner at second stayed at second. Batter runner is going to stay at first base because he's going to be yelling at his teammate, why didn't you go to third? It's not the obstruction that caused that.
You base it, you can't push somebody ahead.
Nope. Where would they have gotten had obstruction not occurred? What's that?
Say runner got obstructed and gap would have, so it would have been standing up double runner first and third. Or both runners.
Absolutely. Yep. If you think the batter runner did not go to second because he saw his teammate fall down on the ground, absolutely. Had obstruction not occurred, it was a stand-up double, both runners would have got 2 bases. Yep. All right, base awards. All right, there's four categories because there's 4 bases. 1 base, pitcher throws the ball out of play. All right, so here I am. I'm a pitcher. I don't disengage, I just jump turn. Or I step straight to third base. I overthrow it, goes in the dugout. Time, 1 base award. Now I disengage. Yep. Now I disengage. I am now a fielder. All right. I turn and throw third base dugout. 2 base award because I'm a fielder. All right. So ball thrown out of play by a pitcher is 1 base. Lodged baseball. So wild pitch gets stuck in the pads. Pitch goes inside the catcher's equipment. Right. A lodged baseball is 1 base award for all runners, not batters, just runners. Detached equipment on pitch ball. So catchers will every once in a while do this. Pretend this is my mask. Boop, boop. All right, that's detached equipment. They can't use their mask to reel it in the baseball. Time. Nope. Time. Lodge baseball. Time. No. 1 base award. Where was he at time of pitch? Time. What's 1 base award from first base? Perfect. All right. No, because on a pickoff there is no batter runner. Yeah. Correct. The only time he would get a free base. All right. So ball 4. Okay, now he's a batter running going to first base. He was given first base because of ball 4. And let's say the catcher tries to back pick third base and it goes out of play. So now we have a 2 base award from there. That would be a play I could see. Yep. No. All right. Whenever the ball is thrown out of play by a fielder, it is always 2 bases. It's never 1 + 1. It's never 3 bases. It's never 4 bases. Always 2 bases. What we have to determine is time of throw versus time of pitch. If it's the first play, it's 2 bases from the time of pitch. All right. If it's any other situation, outfielder, double play, second throw, after a tag attempt, throw, it's 2 bases from the time of throw. So really, it's always in your mind, always 2 bases time of throw, except the first play by a fielder, infielder. Okay, so here's the play. Double play at second base. It's a hit and run. They flip it to either the second baseman, doesn't matter. Safe at second. That was the first play by an infielder, correct? Now they're going to try to get the batter runner out at first base. Did the batter runner get to first base yet? No. They throw it out of play. Time. We have a thrown ball out of play, 2 base award. Since it's the second play by the infielder, it's time of throw. So where was the runner at second base at the time of throw? Second, because you called that runner safe. So what's 2 base award from second base? Home. All right, it's a batter runner. Where was that batter runner at the time of throw? Not to first base yet. Nope. All right, so now what's a two-base award from home plate? Second base. So coaches are going to come out. You gave one runner 3 bases, one runner 2 bases. I said, no, I didn't. I gave both runners 2 bases from the time of throw. All right, so time of throw. Always a 2-base award. Never 1+1. Always a 2-base award. Time of throw is 98% of the time, except the original throw by an infielder. That's from the time of pitch. So no. So them catching it and fielding it is not the play. It's them attempting the tag out, attempting the appeal out because they're off the base. That's the first play. That catch is not the play. That's the first play. Yep. So line drive, shortstop catch. They're trying to now appeal that the guy in first base did not tag up properly. Goes out of play. At the time of pitch, where was that runner on first base at? First, 2-base award, third base. All right. Really important on that play. Guess what that runner still has to do? Last time by, touch first base. All right. So touch first base, touch second base, touch third base. Because I have seen runners get up and run straight to third base. And I'm like, yes, I love outs. Please appeal second base. All right. 2-base award, ground rule double. So bounces, batted ball bounces over the outfield fence. 2-base award. If the ball goes underneath the fence, a lot of holes out there, right? Batted ball goes underneath the fence. I think yep, sweet. When runners do that, or fielders do this, coaches keep having the runners run. Umpires, guess what we have to do? Don't stop the play. No. Yeah, we got to go out and make sure that ball left the field of play. Because if that ball is just sitting there, that's now inside the park home run. If we kill the play, guess what can't happen? Runners can't run anymore. All right. If they hold up their hand, or if they reach for it and then hold up their hand, play continues. They have to hold up their hands right away. They can't go be reaching and then all of a sudden raise their hands. Because most likely once they reach for it, guess what happened? They pushed it underneath. Okay. And then the 4-base award. So the 4-base award is a batted ball, left fielder, right fielder throws up their all right, so they use detached equipment and hit that ball. All right, that's a 3-base award. Time, detached equipment on a batted ball, 3-base award. All right, this next slide is the mechanics of it. I get excited when there's a base award, all right, because it's my time to show everybody, no matter how many ball strikes I miss all game long, I know what I'm doing. Okay, so home plate umpire, you have all balls leaving the field of play because you see behind first base, you see behind third base. All right, so anytime that ball leaves the field of play, home plate umpire, time, you, second base, or you, third base, or you, score, sell it. Know what you're doing. All right, because there's going to be times you're going to award bases and people are like, I have no idea what he did, but he looked good doing it. Okay. And then we just go. Whereas if we, time. Yeah, go wherever you guys want to go. Good. I'm good. All right. Because guess what I'm going to do as a coach? I'm going to, hey, come on, touch second, come third. Come on. No, you score. Make sure you touch third. Here we go. I'm sending my runners where I want to send them as a coach. All right, so you as an umpire got to do that. Yep. Base umpires. you have illegally touched balls and lodged balls, especially inside that catcher, especially in that mat behind the home plate umpire. Because a lot of times that home plate umpire, he's getting out of the way of the catcher, all right? He's not turning their head right away. So if you see that ball get lodged, base umpires, time, lodged baseball is time. 1 base award, okay? When called both umpires, especially if you trust your partner, make the awards together. So now you have 2 doing it at the same time. So I'm going to judge, yes, that ball's out of play. Time. All right, we know that was the first play by an runner. Both umpires are saying you second base. All right, both umpires are going to give that award if we're on the same page. And then partners, trust but verify. If something doesn't feel right, get together as a crew. All right, Sean, you gave that runner on first base home. Why did you only give the batter under second base? All right, now have that talk as a crew. All right, well, it's a 2 base award, time of throw. That's throw to by the shortstop was the second play. Oh, okay, that makes sense. So now, because guess what the coaches are going to do when my partner gets back to the line? They're going to ask him the question. All right, so trust your partner, but verify if you have that gut feeling. Trust, but verify. What's that? Oh, start with lead runner first. Anyone know why you want to start with the lead runner first? Yeah, so let's say it's ground rule doubles is not a good example, but it's an overthrow. So here I have the batter runner has already touched second base. Okay, actually batter runner already touched first base, but the runner on first base had not touched second base yet because they didn't know if the outfielder was going to catch it or not. Boom, doesn't catch it, and now they're going to throw the ball out of play. But at the time of throw, the runner that started at first base didn't touch second base yet. So where are we giving that runner? Third. So time, you, third base. Batter runner was already on first base at the time of throw. Where are we giving that runner? Why only 1 base? All right, because you can't force a runner to advance and score based on an award. So I'm always going to start with the lead runner, give them 2 bases, and then I'm going to backtrack. All right, since runner at first didn't touch second, I'm giving him third. Batter runner, even though they were touching first, I can't give them third because 2 runners can't be on third base. So second base. An award cannot force a runner to advance. Another thing, trust and verify. Trust the players, but make sure it's out of play. All right, passing. I added this because I actually got a text message about passing this past week. When runners pass a runner in front of him, the trail runner is out. So here you have a potential home run ball. I'm assuming that's what's going on here. So number 37 is staying towards first base because if it's caught or robbed of a home run, he's got to tag up. Now he could get second base. This batter runner is so excited because he's about to hit a home run in Busch Stadium, right? And he passes R1. When number 15 completely passes, which I think he has here, number 15 is out. Out. At the time of passing, out. So now let's just say number 15 passes before the ball leaves the yard. On a home run, what do? Let's say there's just 1 out. All right, batter runner's out, and then R1 would score. Now let's say there was 2 outs. No one scores. All right. I had this play at Marshalltown on a really windy day. All right, close ball game, grand slam. That was never a grand slam because the batter runner passed R1 with 2 outs. And that's how the game ended. All right. So when I say they have to clearly be passed, make it jump out big on you. All right. And the coach knew, like, it wasn't even a big controversy. The coach yelled at the player, which is great. What are you doing? Yes. No, trail's behind. So 15 was the batter. He started behind. So he's the trail runner. Yep, he's the trail runner.
Done by passing, pass him on the way to second.
Yep.
He just passes him up the baseline. Running straight up the baseline.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, if he's
Passing him.
yeah, if he runs past first base and not going towards second, they have not passed. Yep. Yep. All right, tagging up, and then we'll talk about appeal. So any runner may tag a base and advance once a fly batted ball or line drive is touched by a fielder. All right, so again, the process of a catch, it's a process. We as umpires, we have to see it, enter the glove. We need to see control and or voluntary release. All right, so once that ball touches the glove, all right, that's when the runner could advance. So umpires, when we talk about mechanics here, yeah, we'll get into that. So we must line up where that ball is going to be touched and that runner as best as we possibly can. There's going to be times where I'm going to back up all the way to the fence and I still can't see both. But then once it touches the glove, it's just a boom. And I'm not looking at the runner's feet. I'm looking at the runner's location. If that runner is near the base, guess what? They were still touching the base when that ball was tagged. If that runner is 10 feet towards me already, that means he left the base before that ball was touched. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for on that tag play. I'm not looking, is that runner's foot touching the bag? I'm just looking at proximity. How close is that runner to the bag? Okay, we'll get into that. Okay, now, once you get the proximity of the runner, stay with that catch. You have to see the voluntary release. You have to see that process of control. Do not take your eyes off of that catch. It's literally just boom. You got to stay with that catch. Common sense if needed, proximity. If they're even close to the base, they legally tagged. We're not Major League Baseball and have 3 angles at third base depending on if it was hit to left field, center field, or right field. Right? Common sense has to take over sometimes. And if you do not see, like, if you have absolutely no idea, didn't see, you can't call it. All right. Don't say this because we don't have enough umpires, but it's a 3-person umpire call, coach. Like, we don't have 3 umpires out here. Or sometimes, hey, coach, if I had a partner, I might be able to line it up better. All right. Don't say that to a coach. But coaches, we have need for more umpires. So, all right. Let's see here. Boop, boop, boop. All right. So now the question, Roger, that you had. If it's a live ball appeal, again, this is not federation rules. This is original baseball rules. Live ball appeal. So boom, they caught it, and the coach is saying, throw it to third, throw it to third, throw it to third. They left early. They left early. All right. Defense throws to the base. And if it's unmistakable what that coaches and players are trying to do, you just call them safer out. It's a live ball appeal. So third baseman gets it, purposely touches third base. He left early. All right, sweet. You're going to say out. Yes, I agree. Or no, they tagged up legally. Live ball appeal, defense throws to a base where multiple runners could have. All right, let's say you have the first runner leave early, and then the ball was a snowball fight, and the runner at second missed third base. So now you have 2 different runners that could be appealed there. They have to tell you which runner they're appealing. Are they appealing the first runner who left early, or are they appealing the runner that missed third base? They have to tell you that. What's that? You could only appeal a runner once, okay? And they have to appeal which runner. They have to tell you which runner. And then live ball appeal, they can go to that runner and tag that runner. So if they left early off a second and they're standing at third, they could tag the runner standing at third base. That's a live ball appeal tag. that runner left second base early. If for whatever reason, nobody's appealing and all of a sudden the fielder catches it, touches second, and somebody missed second, but they're not doing it on purpose, appealing, don't call out. Like, it has to be unmistakable. They are telling you as an umpire, so-and-so missed this base or left early. Now the ball's dead, all right, because they overthrew the catcher and it bounced over the backstop, okay? And they're going to say, they left third base early, Sean. Sweet. Once the pitcher's on the rubber with the baseball, facing the batter, once that batter's in the box, ready to hit, catcher's ready to go. Play. Pitcher steps off, throws to third base. Now we have the appeal there. So even if the ball's thrown out of play, once that ball's put back in play, they could appeal that runner left early. Weird play. I, as a coach, know my runner left early. Okay, I know the defense is going to appeal it. So I tell my runner at first base to start going to second base. So now they're making a play on a new runner. The rule says you can't appeal after a play or pitch, except if the offense initiates the play. All right, so that's OBR. So I know my team violated, and to avoid them appealing to take that run off the board, I can't gain an advantage by forcing a play. Yep. So good ejection story on that one. But that is how to appeal leaving base early. Sweet. More importantly, those of you who are new, I'm going to do something here that it's not uncomfortable for me at all, because I do it all the time. You have to practice signals and voice on this. You have to, whether you record yourself at home, whether you stand in front of a mirror and do it, or have somebody record you, because I can't express enough. Your judgment means very little. How you communicate what the players did is very, very, very important. All right, so if I have an illegally batted ball, time, illegally batted ball out of the box, you out. Nobody's going to argue with that. Will they question it? They will question it. And we want questions. But if you don't communicate what happened, now they're going to argue with you. All right, now it's an argument. All right, whereas if you tell them exactly what happened, time, illegally batted ball, completely outside the box, out. What'd you have there? And then you just repeat what you said. All right, the left foot was completely outside the batter's box when the bat hit the pitch ball. Oh, okay. Okay. Second one, batter interference. All right, so they swing, they step across. That's interference. Everybody's got to hear it. Why didn't I call time? Yeah, the defense could still get that runner out at second base. All right, so now boom, safe at second. Time. That's interference. You're out. You, first base. All right, you have to communicate that. All right, get in the mirror. How do you look? How do you sound? All right, I know I didn't touch on it. The batter that does not swing, and they move in the box, but they remain in the box, and they interfere with that catcher, guess what you still have? Interference. All right, so stealing third base, don't swing. That's interference. Okay. Safe at third. Time. That's interference. Batter out. You, second base. And the coach, he's not going to argue now. My batter was in the box, but he moved. And any movement that hinders a catcher making a play, yeah, doesn't matter. Okay. Let's see here. Type 1 obstruction. Remember, this is obstruction made on a runner. A play is being made on that runner. All right. Time. That's obstruction. You, second base, or whatever base is that minimum award. Remember, type 1 obstruction, minimum 1 base award. Okay. Why are we killing it? Type 1 obstruction. Why are we killing it? All right. Play is dead by rule. Play is dead by rule. We get to put runners anywhere we want. So if there was a runner at first base going to second base as they were throwing, catcher obstructed, that runner coming home, time, that's obstruction, minimum 1 base award. All right, we're giving that runner score. We get to place R1 anywhere, anywhere. All right, it could be second, it could be third. Okay, so type 1, time, we place runners anywhere. Type 2, that's obstruction. And I keep my point, like, I know some people do this. I wouldn't even be against that. It's not the true mechanic. But type 2 obstruction, that's obstruction. I am pointing at that fielder for a couple seconds. Because when I'm loud, I'm getting everybody's attention. All right, so type 2 obstruction, that's obstruction. I'm pointing at that fielder that obstructed. So now people turn their attention to that fielder. Okay, don't hide it. We talked about base awards. Time, you, third base, you, second base. Sell it. Sell what you have. Passing, that's passing. Point at that runner that passed. Keep pointing at that runner. Everybody knows then who that runner is. Passing, you keep live. And then tagging up in appeals. It is the most awkward feeling on a baseball field, I think. Everyone's going nuts. And you're like, oh my God, did they see it? Did they not see it? Are they going to appeal? I don't want to show any body language, letting the coaches know I saw it. What do I do? It's just uncomfortable for me. So I just try to, all right, pretend like nothing happened. And then if they appeal it, boom, out. That's probably my weakest out call is when they appeal, because it should be that big. If you don't know, if you didn't see it, you can't call it. Make those big. They left the base too early. They missed. All right, make them big. Make those big. Remember, home plate umpire. You have appeals at third base, tagging and touching at third base. Base umpire. You have, by mechanic, all touches and tags at first and second. Now, if there's a fly ball down the right field line, can get that touch at first base? Yeah, you're looking right there. Okay, but base umpires, you have all tags and touches at first and second mechanically. Plate umpire, all tags at third base. If you're by yourself, you have it all. All right, you have it all. Good luck. Yeah, so I played exactly the same. So I will officiate that play. All right, run down. All right, safe at second. Sweet. They get back on the rubber, or the ball still remains live. They want to appeal third base. Yep, out. And then coach, how could he be out? They made a play. I agree with you, except this one. Yep, you would leave him on second. Yep. All right, so there was one chat question here. So runner can, even if he's been obstructed with, the answer is yes. Because if they're obstructed at first, it's not a free go, going until you pass home. All right. You're only going to protect that obstructed runner, the base they would have gotten to had obstruction not occurred. All right. So there's, ground ball to center fielder. That runner runs into the first baseman and falls down. And all of a sudden they get up and go to second base. I'm not going to give him second base. I would have protected him to first base because ground ball to center field it's a single. Okay. I have a question here. Who can see your messages recording on? Runner leaves box to not interfere with pop foul near home. All right. So if there's a pop fly near home, all right, guess what that batter has to do? Disappear. Even if it's not intentional, if they impede that catcher from making a play or a third baseman or first baseman, interference. Yes. So most times it will be obvious who they are appealing, who left early. The times where if you don't know as an umpire who they're appealing, you just ask the coach, hey, coach, and then they have to tell you. Yeah, so if you don't know which one they're appealing, have them give you that information. Yep, so if it's a live ball appeal, they either tag the runner or tag the bag that they left early or missed. If they missed the bag, they could touch the bag they missed. The players have to appeal it. Yeah, any player could catch the ball, tag the base. Any player could tag the runner that you're appealing. So the question here is, what if catcher heads to the runner, not the ball? Then it's nothing. So the catcher cannot go opposite of the ball to get interference. It has to be on the path to the batted ball. Yes. Absolutely. So the big one is when they yell balk, when it's not a balk, and it sets everything up. I call time. So if the coach says normal play, time, coach, if you continue the unsporting behavior, you're at risk of ejecting yourself. Yep, dead ball reset. So have some coaches on a fake squeeze. The go. If that screws up the defense, time reset. Coach, you haven't told your runners go that loud all your life. Why now? So yeah, if there's anything egregious in your judgment, just to confuse the opponent, I time and reset it. All right. Last slide. I am going to post this on our YouTube channel. I'm going to post this on arbitersports.com. If you click the PSOA podcast, PSOA YouTube channel, PSOA registration, this QR code is this registration link. So some questions have been asked. Do we have to join and pay dues and da-da-da? And my question is no. If you're just looking for education and that's what you want, that's cool. What the registration dues get you, eventually our PSOA hats, it gets you self-assign, and with self-assign, you then can earn all the incentives. All right, because again, if you assign yourself games, you guys should be getting the assigning fee. All right, so the dues get you hat, it gets you self-assign, it gets you invited to our socials once during Triple Crown College World Series, the other one at the end of the year. And it's sort of cost of business. If anyone here watching this video thinks PSOA makes any money on registration dues, let me know. I will explain where every single cent goes and some. So do you have to pay dues to work games? No. Myself, Corey Bremer, there's going to be times where we need umpires who need umpires. But the dues, again, it's the cost of business, the hats, the self-assign. So you could assign yourself games and you get the assigning money. Self-assign will start March 6th. All right, so we do have some young new umpires. If you can't afford the equipment, if you can't afford the dues, that's fine. Just fill out that form and say assistance program. We're going to get you started. You start working games. You're going to pay off those dues. You're going to pay off those equipment when you start working games. There's no doubt there's going to be a lot of games to work. You'll have the income come April. Okay. I am going to stop recording.